Okay, let's do the chart review for 4/24/2019, Wednesday. Um, Pretty much a sideways day in the market. These are the kind of days that I really kind of enjoy. The levels work really well. Um, you get two-sided trading where both the bulls and the bears make some kind of progress. Um, so this is the intraday chart, and you can see yesterday, we had a strong day up. Traded sideways towards the end of the day. We had a sell-off overnight, balanced right here, making a nice little volume node. Um, they made a good push early this morning, 4 or 5 a.m. Uh, up here to the top, sold down a little bit. I think I made the morning video somewhere in here. I thought that they would make another push to try and get this over this level. They made a very weak attempt. Um, and at that point, it was kind of game over, I guess, a little bit. And they just started selling at that point. Um, I had talked about this level. I actually didn't think that it would hold up, and it actually did create a nice little bounce right here. I thought that we would, pretty much fall down into this area and test down here, but the market just wasn't really that weak. Um, if I zoom in a little bit, so you can see that we traded right down into one of my levels that I had marked off early this morning. Got a nice little bounce off of it, traded through, came back, touched it, and fell back away. Traded up through it, and then traded down, hit the next level. Um, Overnight levels really aren't super strong. Uh, so the fact that this was testing this overnight level made this okay for a good trade right here. You got a nice little bounce out of it. Came back, tested the line like twice more, and then took off. Um, you can see that it touched the line right here and actually tried a little pullback right here, and then went through and then used the line for support at that point. Went up higher, used it for support again. Basically tested the top of this volume node right here, fell away again, used this line. I wouldn't have taken this trade right here, just for the fact that it was so soon coming back right here, and you had a couple tests right there. I think it could have easily fallen through, but definitely the line was on the mark today. Came back up, traded back down, tested this top piece of resistance, fell through, which I would expect because we'd already kind of traded through that area several times. Came down. You can see where all the volume was in this particular volume node right here. Traded right to it, took off again, used this line as resistance. Worked perfectly right there. That was a good trade. There was down here on the delta, you can see that you never got that strong of a move, and was right back into the moving average. That's typically where the pivots are going to happen on the chart. You can see right here, if you look up above, this pivot matches right here where it kind of fell down below, tested it, and went. You can see this little pivot right here. It came back to the moving average, hit it, took off again, right? You can see this pivot right here, same thing, came back towards the line, never quite got there, but there's trades right against that moving average in the delta. Fell through. We'd already tested this line twice. Fell through. Hit the next line. Beautiful bounce. Went right through it. Came back. Used that line for support line. Came back right near it. Tried to use it again. Came up. Not sure you know, this was kind of a risky, iffy trade because you'd already been right there. It did push through on the other side, but support and resistance to me is trading on both sides of the line. Um, you know, stayed in that area, came up, pushed through it again. Like I said, they kind of wore some of the orders through in these two little pushes, but came right up to where the volume was in this, basically in this candle right here. Fell back down. Where'd it go? Nice bounce right off of this line. Fell through, found some support right here against this particular volume node that was created. You know, and that was pretty much the end of the day at that point. Nice little sell off right through the line right there. You know, not not a bad day. You know, there was good trades in there. Definitely, I've shown you this. You know, where it comes back to the line. Um, there were some divergences. If you looked real close, I mean, look at the effort that they put in right here to get up, and you know, the highs were not, you know, quite as high as what the delta was doing over here. Um, you can kind of see, I think this one right here, or this low right here. I thought I saw another divergence in here. I'm just not seeing it. I think that's it for this intraday chart. Let's look over here at the higher. So again, this is the higher node right down here. This is kind of where I really kind of expected to come back and test. You've got this node here. If it tends to fall down tonight or tomorrow, you can see I've already got my line set up basically on both sides. You know, a test of the top and a test of the bottom of this node. You can see that. So this particular profile, if I click on it, it's only this swing information right here. So it's not including the rest of this. And this was the open right here. So you can see, you know, we tested the bottom of this node at the, you know, beginning of the day, traded up, traded down. What do? We tested the top of this node right here. And then basically further on in the day, we tested the bottom of this node right here. So you can see, you know, they bounce it off the top, they bounce it off the bottom. You know, there's a lot of people interested in these areas. They're trying to protect their trades and keep the market up. People are watching these areas and taking these trades. So those are, you know, high probability locations to take a shot at the market, right? It's about probability. You want to trade with the other people, right? I'm trying to think of the guy's name. It's like Wieland or something like that. Patrick Wieland or something. He had a video. I'll try and find it. And he says that it improved his trading immensely when he started, you know, buying low and selling high, and that's the name of the game. You got to take the trade when the when the price action's moving against you. It's very tough to do, scary, but that's pretty much how it works. Let's go back real quick right here. So early on in the morning video, I had marked out this area, and I kind of saw this as the swing. And if I pull this all the way across, you can see, try and get rid of some of the different colors. I know my screens are hard to see. You can see that this pretty much played the midline all the way through. This red line played the midline. Things were you know, pivoting around it. The top actually played out well. The bottom, you know, played out pretty decently. It fell through over here. But um, what I also picked up this morning was uh, on this first swing, when it hit this first swing right here and it came back, and basically right at that 50% level, I was like, oh, this is going to be a nice little measured move, right? And if you take this guy and you put him right there, or you can duplicate him, right? And put him right there. There you got that move. It works out a little bit better if you move it up, but I mean, there's that measured move right there, and he was the guy, right? So there's the swing right there. There's the 50% retracement. This swing was a little bit bigger, but you can see that it pretty much matched up. Look at this, from the top of this down to the bottom of this, where they made an attempt. I think it matches that one right there. 50% lines up with this. I don't know. Am I crazy? I think this works fairly well when you start putting this stuff together, and you kind of have to trust in it that some kind of trade's going to happen. It's not always going to skyrocket or whatever, but I think it adds to the probability of, of a successful trade. You're basically getting some kind of confluence of, basically my trade line, right? I know that this is a support and resistance area. It happens to match up with the measured move of the market. Um, it's what it is, right? And during the day, I also tend to watch the level 2 information, and when I see somebody, basically lining up a whole bunch of trades in the same area as my line, it gives me just a little bit more confidence that, I'm kind of in the right place. Um, so that was kind of what I saw on the charts today, and I'll talk to you in the morning.